After all, has already been brought to their medical hall. If they can't cure him, I can take the patient's pulse again, Long Aotian said humbly. Hearing Long Aotian's words, Liu Xiaoshuan snorted coldly. You won't have that chance. She looked at Xiau and said, undress the patient. The clothes were taken off. Xi Zizhan's body, riddled with knife, scars, and gunshot wounds, was revealed to everyone. These wounds were all proof of what he had been through. They were also his merits. Although she was a little dissatisfied with Xi Ho, Liu Xiaoshuan immediately felt a deep sense of admiration for Xi Zhan. Just as she was concentrating on preparing for acupuncture, I burst into the consultation room, panting. Interrupted once again, Liu Xiaoshuan immediately glared towards the door. Seeing me standing at the door, she frowned unhappily and said, what are you doing here? In the original story, Liu Xiaoshuan disliked the useless original owner, who also caused trouble all day long, especially with their parents' preference for sons over daughters. Even though they knew I wasn't their biological son, they still favored me without reason. She grew to dislike this younger brother even more. Can't you see I am treating a patient? You just burst in like that. If you make me hit the wrong acupuncture point, do you know how dangerous that would be? The patients who come to our Huatuo Hall for treatment are either rich or noble. It's not like every time you cause trouble, our Liu group has to pay the price for you. Don't forget your status, Liu Xiaoxuan scolded. I pouted, and silently complained in my heart. The amount of money the original owner squandered over a dozen years is not even equal to the compensation for this one needle of yours. I showed an apologetic expression on my face, and said apologetically, I am sorry, third sister. I didn't mean to disturb you. I just saw that the old man has many wounds on his body, and suspect his internal organs might be damaged. There might still be shrapnel, or something left in his body. How about we take the old man for an x-ray first? The surrounding old Chinese medicine doctors naturally recognized my identity, but hearing that I wanted to use Western medical examination equipment, they all frowned. Young master, our Chinese medicine focuses on observation, listening, questioning, and pulse taking. That's enough to grasp the patient's condition. Relying on those machines will instead interfere with our judgment. That's right, young master, this is a treasure left to us by our ancestors. You haven't even studied medical theory, so don't interfere with our diagnosis anymore. I glanced at this group of people. Actually, if they just spent a little more time taking the pulse, they would naturally discover the clues. But the old man's condition was urgent, and there was a Long Otian watching from the side. They naturally wanted to cure the patient as quickly as possible. All right, just shut up and stay on the side. Don't make any noise. The patient's condition cannot be delayed. If any problems occur because of you, tell mom and dad to kick you out. Liu Xiaoxuan said coldly. I gave Liu Xiaozwen 2 thumbs up. Then I turned around and walked out of the consultation room. Even a clay figure has 3 parts anger, let alone me, who isn't made of clay. Anyway, since Liu Xiaoshuan and these stubborn people couldn't be reasoned with one by one, they had to taste some suffering first. This is called respecting the fate of others. Walking out the main door of the clinic, I angrily gritted my teeth. If she hadn't almost killed Xi Zhan with acupuncture this time, and ended up compensating 100 billion to settle the matter, I wish I could leave the hospital and go straight home right now. The 100 billion compensation was transferred from Liu Jianguo's card. Liu Jianguo's secondary card is now in my hands. Rounding up, it's equivalent to me spending 100 billion to pay the price for Liu Xiao. Xuan. Liu Ruyan noticed that my mood didn't seem very good. She fearfully and gently pinched the corner of my shirt. She was worried that my actions today were just a momentary whim, and that's why I was treating her so well. Now that I was in a bad mood, everything would go back to the way it was. I looked at Liu Ruyan's timid appearance, and reached out to rub her head again and again. Brother, if you're unhappy, you can take it out on me. You taking care of Sister Nian Chu. I am already very happy. She raised her head, and gave a reserved smile. I scratched my head sheepishly. I patted your head just now, because I thought you were too cute. I couldn't help it. If you don't like it, then I won't do it anymore. I like it. Liu Ruyan lowered her head. A faint blush appeared on her cheeks. I gently pinched her cheek. After third sister is done with the patient, go find her and borrow a comb to fix your hair. Liu Ruyan excitedly clenched her hands into small fists. She felt the emptiness in her heart was being filled bit by bit. After that, I led Liu Ruyan to start peeking through the crack of the door, watching Liu Xiaoxuan's acupuncture process in the clinic. Xie Zhan's body was covered in all sorts of wounds. The skin on some of the wounds had hardened. It required a lot of strength to insert the needle. Xiaoxuan's acupuncture technique is getting better and better now. Her speed is much faster too. The new generation surpasses the old. I am afraid in another 2 years, Once the girl has a bit more experience, she'll be able to surpass me. Miss Liu is indeed the most talented person I've ever met. The onlooking Chinese medicine doctors praised her in low voices. Seeing Liu Xiao Xuan's professional acupuncture technique, Xieou and Xiu Xing both breathed a sigh of relief. Long Ao Tian's gaze was burning hot. He openly looked Liu Xiao Xuan up and down, especially when Liu Xiao Xuan bent over slightly. I could even see his feet slightly tiptoeing. I curiously tapped Liu Ruyan's head with my chin and asked, "What do you think of that man?" Liu Ruyan held her head and pouted in dissatisfaction. She looked in the direction I pointed. She shook her head. "He's peeking at third sister. Moreover, he keeps staring at third sister's chest and butt." Should we remind third sister? In the original story, Liu Ruyan, with her heaven-defying beauty, had attracted Long Ao Tian's attention. Long Ao Tian both coveted Liu Ruyan's beauty and despised Liu Ruyan's past. He only maintained a physical relationship with Liu Ruyan. Liu Ruyan had never been loved. She misunderstood that Long Ao Tian's occasional concern was the love she yearned for. In the end, the lie was exposed, and Liu Ruyan frantically took revenge on Long Ao Tian. From then on, she became the biggest villain in the entire story. Third sister is performing a treatment. We can't disturb her, I said. Liu Ruyan nodded, immediately showing a worried expression. I noticed her expression and said helplessly, "Don't make any noise." I pulled Liu Ruyan's wrist and walked into the clinic, blocking the view between Long Ao Tian and Liu Xiaoshuan. Long Ao Tian frowned, a flash of anger on his face, but seeing that Liu Ruyan's beauty seemed to be a notch higher, his gaze began to appraise Liu Ruyan's back. Is this guy a demon among lechers? Noticing Long Ao Tian's gaze, I couldn't help but think to myself. I pulled Liu Ruyan in front of me. One hand pulled Liu Ruyan's wrist, the other placed on her shoulder. Liu Ruyan was stunned for a moment. She secretly took a step back and leaned her head against my chest. I was focused on the silver needle in Liu Xiaoshuan's hand and didn't notice Liu Ruyan's small movement. At this time, the acupuncture had entered its final stage. Xi Zizhan's hands and feet had already twitched twice. Only his eyes opened a small slit. Liu Xiao Xuan wiped the sweat from her forehead and took out the last silver needle. The last acupuncture point was in the center of the chest. As long as she inserted it, the patient would also fully awaken. She aimed at the acupuncture point and slowly inserted the silver needle. Suddenly, she felt that the sensation of the silver needle entering the acupuncture point was a bit off. It seemed to be blocked by something hard inside. She doubtfully checked the acupuncture point again and found that she hadn't hit the wrong spot. Before she could think further, Xi Zizhan's eyes suddenly flew open. He spat out a large mouthful of fresh blood. The silver needle on his chest also was slowly pushed out. The wound from the silver needle gushed with blood. What happened? How could this be? Didn't you say you could cure him? Xi Zihu said in astonishment. I don't